But for some reason there are people on the left and the extreme left and the fashionable left of Australian politics who think they are just frankly better people than the people that they disagree with. And then the idea that because Jenny Morrison is married to a politician they don't like, they think it's completely okay to treat her in a fashion that, let's be honest, even the most colourful figures on the Conservative side like me would never go after somebody's partner. It's just not okay. But it does expose yet again an absolute rule here, right? Which is that the sisterhood doesn't extend to all sisters. That some sisters are just booted out of the sisterhood, and in part it's because of their political views, not because they've done anything wrong. Holly Hughes is not part of the sisterhood. She's a senator. And she joins us right now from Canberra. Senator, nice to talk to you. The problem here is that I know how this game works, right? Which is, in this case, Magda Szubanski goes out and does something stupid. Magda Szubanski then gets criticised. Magda Szubanski then goes on TV in a couple of days' time and says, well, people were really rude and mean to me on the internet, here's lots of examples, and then we end up feeling bad for the person who caused this all in the first place. What do you want to say about what is a completely unnecessary attempt to besmirch a woman who's done nothing wrong?
I think you hit the nail on the head, exactly. Going after partners of politicians is absolutely abhorrent. For those of us that put ourselves forward into public life, we accept and understand that there's going to be people that don't like us, perhaps say some not very pleasant things about us. But to go after the Prime Minister's wife in a way that Ms Szubanski did was absolutely appalling. But as you said, there is no true sisterhood. There is a sisterhood of the left, and everyone on the Conservative or centre-right side of politics, we deserve it, we ask for it, and if we call it out, we're a liar. And apparently, Ms Szubanski seemed to feel that some form of normal marriage and a wife supporting her husband was in fact a throwback to The Handmaid's Tale. It was insulting to absolutely everybody. But the thing about it that really got to me was Ms Szubanski is someone who has experienced some quite obscene trolling over the years. And I've had meetings myself with Julia Inman-Grant where we've talked about some of the trolling that occurs and the violent sexualised abuse that women in particular tend to get on social media. And for a woman who's experienced it personally, to then somehow think it's okay to throw it on to Mrs Morrison is absolutely appalling, and it highlights the hypocrisy of the left and the politicisation of this March for Justice support for women. I mean, that is just rubbish. And we've seen it time and again with people like Nicole Flint and others. It's not support for all women. It's support for women on the left. And that's exactly where it lies. And that's where we saw March for Justice head with the politicisation of it. And we're continuing to see this faux outrage and supportive movement for women is not about supporting all women. But to start attacking the spouses of politicians is just taking it to the next level.
But also, you know, let's be honest here too, that I don't think that somebody sits around, you know, in a room with a whole bunch of little figures working out how it all moves on the map. Maybe they do. I'm not a factional leader. But there is a hope, right?
They clearly don't have enough to do with their time.
Correct. But there is some hope on parts of the left and the establishment left politics that they see a calculation, which is if we can tinge one side of politics as having a problem with women, then it moves 1, 2, 3% in the right direction that they want in order to achieve political power. And that's the other thing that is the real thing we have to call out here, is that what might have started organically is completely been overtaken by those who are trying to achieve an ultimate political outcome. Like, does anyone honestly believe that everything instantly gets better when you change a government? No, of course not. It's just a way of putting new people in to, you know, tell us we're on your side, doll.
But this fantasy that some people seem to be living in, that any of this bad behaviour's only ever occurred on one side of the house, is an absolute fallacy. And I think people in glass houses should probably start being a little bit careful, because the shoe may just end up on the other foot. But when we saw people like Penny Wong absolutely politicising this issue by fundamentally calling Nicole Flint a liar, Senator Wong is a member for South Australia. The attacks that were occurring during the last campaign to Nicole, the graffiti and slanders on her office that was often painted, the harassment that she endured, the stalking that she endured, it was well publicised and well publicised nationally. So for a senator for South Australia for the Labor Party to suggest she didn't know what was going on, so therefore had no obligation at all to support women, is just out and out incorrect and absolutely deceptive. So we need to start calling it out when it's not just men on the left, but women on the left that are starting to just play this political game. There's plenty of women on the right who have experienced this sort of abuse and have received no support from this alleged sisterhood. So we either need to stop pretending that's what exists, or start calling it out for the politicisation of the issue that's occurring.
Nice to talk to you, Senator. Let's get you back nice and soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Paul.
Senator Holly Hughes there for us in Canberra.